For heaven's sake!
Philip, you are not to be rude to him. If it hadn't been for him, you might not have won.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Father. How nice to see you.
I'm so sorry to be late. I was going to catch the fast train, only they wouldn't let me bring my bicycle.
Father, you know my husband, don't
Oh,
you?
yes, I do indeed. Good afternoon, Mr. Aylmer.
How'd you do?
Oh, won't you sit down, Father?
Thank you, yes. Now, what seems to be the trouble? You sounded quite worried on the telephone.
Father, I am sure that there is something evil in this house.
do?
You know more about it than anyone.
Daphne?
So I thought...
What have you been telling him?
My husband thinks that I'm a silly little fool. But it is true, isn't it? Can't you feel it yourself?
Well, it does have rather a strong personality, but...
Personality? Exactly. I almost sense that it's watching me. I have this strange premonition that something beastly is going to happen at any moment. Well, ever since we moved in here, I have felt that this house has a thoroughly evil character.
John Strake's character, perhaps?
I knew you were going to say that. I am convinced that he's still here.
I suppose a house could be haunted by the living. I've never come across it.
Well, that's exactly...
Well, I've never heard such tommy rot in all my life. What you gonna do? Go round the place with bell, book, and candle?
Well, it does work sometimes.
Please.
No. We're not going to have any of that sort of rubbish, thank you.
Oh, dear.
Can't you see my wife's turning herself into a nervous wreck? She doesn't need a priest, she needs a doctor. There's a train back to London in half an hour. Good day.
I'm so sorry, Father.
Watch it! You blood... Oh, no.
I'm so sorry. I hope it wasn't my fault.
You know, if it was anybody else, I'd say it was absent-mindedness. But knowing you, Father Brown, I'd say your mind was preoccupied with matters which might be of possible interest to me.
Why, bless my soul, it's Inspector Boyne. I had no idea this was your manor.
Well, I was given this manor directly I left hospital. Remember when that fella tried to blow me up?
Salvini, the human cannonball. Yes, I remember. Oh, dear.
Well, after that, they thought I deserved a bit of peace and quiet.
Well, that's the most regrettable expression, which bears no relation to true peace and quiet. Well, Inspector. Thank you. Well, I have a feeling it's about to happen again, fairly soon.
What is?
Murder.
What? Well, you don't believe all that talk about premonitions, do you? Mrs. Aylmer's an hysterical woman. You said so yourself. Now, there may be evil spirits in that house. I wouldn't know. That's more your line, Father. But I never heard of anyone getting themselves murdered by such creatures.
No. That's not quite what I meant, Inspector. You see, both the Aylmers are frightened, but for different reasons. Mrs. Aylmer's afraid of the supernatural, and that's why she sent for me. And she certainly is getting on her husband's nerves with all this talk of evil spirits and so forth. But that's really not what's worrying him.
What is, then?
He thinks that Strake is going to come back and kill him.
Did he tell you that?
No, of course not. But I noticed that he had a revolver in his jacket pocket. So I don't think it can be hobgoblins he's frightened of, do you?
Philip? Oh, really, you'll ruin your eyesight. Why haven't you got the lights on?
Is your headache better?
Yes, thanks. So thundery.
Sherry?
No, thank you. What were you so busy with?
Nothing important.
Oh, well, if you don't want to tell me. I'm sure it's going to rain again. It's so dark. There's nothing the matter, is there, Philip?
No.
It's not your rheumatism again, is it? You know, ever since we've moved in here, I haven't been able to get warm. Darling? What's this?
Give that to me.
Oh, Philip. You haven't been sitting here all afternoon drawing, have you?
For God's sake, Daphne, shut up.
It just struck me as rather funny, that's all. You're always complaining about how overworked you are, and yet you find time to sit here all afternoon drawing silly pictures.
You're getting on my nerves!
There is no need to snap. You don't care what happens to my nerves, do you? Cooped up in this wretched place all day while you go off to London. It's not exactly what I married you for, you know, to sit here all by myself all day. And when you do come home, you don't even talk to me. Where are you going?
I need some fresh air!
You'll get soaked. Oh. Hello? I'd like to make a call to London, please. Kensington 326. Hello, Mummy.
I don't know if you were planning to make any special arrangements for your sister-in-law, Mr. Aylmer.
Daphne will be all right. She's money of her own.
Well, as I told you, under the terms of the court order relating to your father's estate, the house will now belong to you. I'm afraid it hasn't been a very happy residence for your family. Have you considered selling?
I was going to ask you that, Vesti. That would be in order, would it?
Yes, you're perfectly entitled to dispose of the property. But before you come to any firm decision, might I make a suggestion?
What's that?
I received a letter this morning from your younger brother, Mr. Arnold Aylmer. It seems he's thinking of making his home in this country.
Oh, he never told me that.
His decision may be connected with your recent bereavement.
You mean Philip?
It may be that he wants that rather imposing mansion to remain within the family. And he must know that you, Mr. Aylmer, being unmarried and with your business interests in the north of England, are unlikely to have any use for a house in the wilds of Essex.
Are you saying that Arnold might want to make me an offer for the house?
An antique dealer can live anywhere. Perhaps he has plans to turn it into a showplace.
You're a crafty devil, Vesti. I suppose he wrote you and asked you to try to get it for him on the cheap.
As your family solicitor, I shall naturally try to do whatever's best for both of you.
Well, when Arnold arrives, you better tell him to come up north and we'll have a chat. If he wants it that badly, he'll have to pay for it.
Mr. Aylmer, perhaps I shouldn't ask this, but have you any idea why your brother killed himself?
Disturbed balance of the mind. That's what the coroner said, isn't it?
But he was in good health, happily married, and there was certainly nothing wrong with his investments. I find it all very puzzling.
Philip killed himself because he was a coward. He couldn't face the idea that there was someone who hated him so much that he'd sworn to kill him. That wherever he went, there was someone watching and waiting for the chance to cut him down.
You mean John Strake?
A man like that doesn't take kindly to losing a fortune when he thinks he's got his hands on it. And he always knew that Philip was the weakest minded of us three. I'm prepared to bet he's been hounding him these last few months. Threatening to get him, one way or another. Ringing up the house in the middle of the night. Sending anonymous letters.
But if this was so, shouldn't you have said so at the inquest?
I didn't have the evidence then. But I'm pretty certain now. You see, this morning, I got a letter like that myself. Good day, Mr. Vesti.
It's quite specific, Mr. Aylmer. Tomorrow you'll be dead. Could be a practical joker, I suppose.
I thought that I wouldn't have sent for you.
Do you have any employees who've got a grudge against you?
Look, there's absolutely no doubt about who sent it. I didn't ring up the police station and ask for Sherlock Holmes. Just wanted someone to sit around and keep his eye on things.
Yes, I understand.
I mean, even a lunatic's not going to try and kill me while you're here. Yes, Hazel, what is it?
The works manager just telephoned. Your brother's arrived and has taken him on a tour of the factory.
Why the hell didn't he bring him up here?
I'm only telling you what Mr. Purvis told me.
I'll be damned. Snooping around, that's what he's doing. I'll be back in a minute.
Arnold, what are you doing down there? Come up here.
Old Mr. Aylmer has a quarrel with Strake. Makes arrangements to cut him out of his will and dies. Apparently from natural causes before he can see his lawyer. The three sons go to court and win their case. Then Strake starts sending them threatening letters. And months later, Philip Aylmer is found dead, apparently by his own hand. And a little after that, Stephen meets with a horrible death in his own factory. Oh, by the way, you're very good health, Father.
And your good health too, Inspector.
Now, in heaven's name, what does all that add up to?
One natural death, one suicide, and one accident on the face of it.
Ah, but you and I are not concerned with the face of things, are we?
Inspector, I know. You're hoping I'll say that Strake has laid a family curse on the Aylmers. That's the trouble with being a priest. People expect you to believe anything.
All right, what do you suggest? Pure coincidence?
I think old Mr. Aylmer more or less frightened himself to death. Philip may have committed suicide.
Look, I examined the body half an hour after it was found. It was in the middle of the lawn. A wet lawn that would have left any mark. And there wasn't another footprint anywhere near the body. Now, if somebody else killed him, they'd have had a swoop down from the sky.
All right, then. Philip committed suicide. And Stephen, according to the evidence at that inquest, was a rather stingy kind of fellow who would not spend money replacing worn-out machinery. So when the main belt snapped, yes, in a way, I suppose it was his fault, yes.
In fact, you don't think Strake had anything to do with anything?
Yes, of course he did, Inspector. It was Strake who got old Mr. Aylmer into such a state. And when he sent threatening letters to the sons, each of them reacted according to their different temperaments. Philip got frightened, and Stephen got careless. Yes, of course he was responsible for their deaths.
And the police can't lay a hand on him.
Oh. Well, that rather depends on what he tries to do to the third son, doesn't it? He's moved into the house, I gather. I haven't called yet. I understand he's having some domestic difficulties.
What do you mean?
Well, he's having difficulty in finding any domestics. Nobody in the village wants to work in that house anymore. They think it's haunted. He's living there alone, I believe, poor chap. I dare say he's as frightened as all his brothers were.
Well, he doesn't have to live there. I mean, after all, he did get the house for nothing.
Yes.
You know, come to think of it, he's done rather well, has Mr. Arnold Aylmer.
Yes, I suppose he has. Oh, goodness me. You don't think that...
Well, his motive for getting rid of them was just as good as Strake's. And he's finished up with the whole caboodle, hasn't he? The house, the money, everything.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Well, now, have I your permission to go and talk to him?
Well, now, I'm not so sure he'd be too pleased to have you poking around up there.
Nobody ever notices me. It'd be different if half a dozen of your men went marching into the grounds. Oh, perhaps on second thoughts, it might be just as well, just in case.
Very well, Father.
Bye, Inspector. No, better not. They'll get so damp in all that shrubbery. I'll go alone. Ooh, I believe it's going to snow.
Who's that?
Mr. Aylmer? Mr. Arnold Aylmer?
I am Arnold Aylmer. I'm out of the way of expecting visitors.
Yes, I did hear that you were living alone. That's why I took the liberty of letting myself in. Oh, I do hope I haven't got you out of bed.
Who are you and what do you want?
My name's Brown. Father Brown. I had some slight acquaintance with your father. In fact, I was with him when he died.
I see.
I do hope I helped to set his mind at rest. I wished he'd sent for me earlier, poor man. He seemed to think that the devil had singled him out for particular attention.
Not the devil himself, perhaps, but certainly a demon. He told you about this adopted son of his.
John Strake. Yes, indeed he did, yes. Unfortunately, Mr. Strake had left before I arrived. That's a pity. I should have liked a word with him.
As a priest, you'd have known at once that you were in the presence of great evil.
Oh?
Have you seen a photograph of him?
Well, there wouldn't be any, would there? Well, I mean, if Mr. Strake was really practicing black magic, he wouldn't allow any photographs to be taken. He'd know that if they fell into the hands of an enemy, they could be used in all sorts of unpleasant ways. Pinned through the heart, for instance? Oh, I don't think he'd take that risk.
How on earth do you know this?
Oh, I pick up all sorts of information.
Have you any idea what it's like to be pursued by a man like that? To know that he means to destroy you as he destroyed your father and your brothers?
Oh, I don't think you should jump to those conclusions, Mr. Aylmer. We don't know that John Strake had anything to do with those tragedies.
In the case of my brother Philip, I wasn't sure at first. He was found shot, you know, on the lawn out there with his revolver beside him. It had been raining heavily, and the grass was still drenched. But apart from my brother's footprints, there were no others.
He must have killed himself.
Yes, perhaps he did. But I shall always be certain in my own mind that he was murdered, and that the murderer came and went without leaving any trace.
Oh, but that's impossible, Mr. Aylmer.
So are miracles, Father Brown. And if God can perform them, perhaps the devil can too.
Yeah. But your brother Stephen's death, surely that can have been nothing but an accident?
I was on the factory floor when Stephen died. He came out onto the catwalk outside his office and called my name. I looked up at him. He must have been about 40 feet above me. And then, as our eyes met, I became conscious of something else. Of something monstrous hanging in the shadows of the factory roof above his head. It was shaped like the figure of a man, but made huge by the great black cloak it wore. I was going to cry out when suddenly there was a sound like the cracking of a whip, and something wrapped itself round Stephen's body and dragged him to... Have you seen the letters my brothers got before they died?
Yes, I did see them at the inquest on your brother Philip. I remember they were signed with some sort of symbol. It was a winged dagger.
Do you know what that signifies, Father Brown?
Oh, some sort of magic sign, I suppose.
But don't you see any connection between that symbol and the manner of my brother's deaths?
No.
A winged dagger, a weapon of death that is able to strike swiftly from a distance. Philip was found shot on his own lawn, with his own revolver beside him and not a trace of any other footprints disturbing the wet grass about him. Stephen was alone on that catwalk when he died. Alone, that is, except for the great dark figure I saw hovering in the roof above him. In both cases, death came apparently out of the air on wings.
Yes.
And both my brothers